Hey folks, and welcome to the very first game breakdown series for PS4 and Madden 17. As you guys know, I've always played on a PS3. Now I'm on the 4. I've put several Inside My Minds with the PS4 on now, and so now I'm ready to get into the actual breakdown series again and break down the gameplay, grade the gameplay. So to start off here, guys, I'm playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the very last Inside My Mind that I had sent out. So we'll go ahead and start with this one, and plus it was starting on offense, and Tuesday will be offensive day, obviously. So looking at it here, starting off, very first play of the ball game, I'm not running my typical power in this case. I'm going with the toss out of the I formation, twins flex. Twins flex basically means I have a slot receiver over here. I do not have the Z all the way to the right, and my slot is actually on the line of scrimmage, while my X is backed off the line of scrimmage now. Or actually they're flopped really, because my X is, or my Z is on the outside essentially. Looking what he's in here, he's in a 4-3. Looks to me like he's in a cover 2, probably 2-man, just because the corners you can see is all the way with him over here. Still could be just a normal 2-zone or even a cover 3. I wouldn't say quarters. If it was quarters, he would have to stay rolled up. So that he can get into his quarter there. So looking at it here, like I said, I'm running the toss. You see something new here with Madden 17. You have the little well, not little, but the big green box, big red box. Essentially what that's doing is it's trying to help you to decide which way you should run the ball. It's counting numbers essentially. It's something I've told you guys about or talked to you guys about several times, especially on the breakdown series. So you look at it here. If we're going to the right, I have 1, 2, 3, plus my fullback is 4 in this case against his 1, 2, 3 in the box. So I have 3 linemen to pick up all 3 of these guys, and I have my fullback to be able to pick up that safety. This should be a big play for me. Now looking the opposite way in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3. My fullback plus my guard and tackle. The reason we don't count the center in this case is because he's actually shaded in the gap, not on him at all. Now my center still should be able to make that reach block there, especially I have a really good center. I have a really good offensive line with the Cowboys, obviously. So really, he should be able to make that block, but you can't count on that. Especially with the shading. So if he slants, he could take out my guard, and then he could beat my tackle if I run the toss the opposite way. Now that's the other reason I decided to stay with the right here. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, these boxes are helpful. They are not always correct, and sometimes they are correct, but I still won't run to that side, mainly because I see shading that I like better to the opposite side. Or maybe I just decide I want to run a certain play, and I'm going to be stubborn about it sometimes. In this case here, guys, I like it because, yeah, I have the 3 against 4, plus I have shading in this case, so I have angles to help my blockers out. Out here, he's in about a 6-eye, so he's lined up about where the tight end would be. He would be inside shade of the tight end, a little bit, or maybe even head up on him. So my tackle has to reach out wide to be able to make that block. Over to this side of the field, though, my tight end doesn't have to reach. As you can see, the guy's pretty much head up on him, maybe a tad outside shade, outside eye shade, a shade here. So really, he's in about a 6 technique, and it's really an easier block. And I trust my guy here. I trust both my guys, actually. This being Tyron Smith, that's Jason Witten. Witten is probably the best blocking tight end in football, maybe the best all-around tight end ever. Backside here, Tyron Smith is one of the better left tackles in the game. So now I've decided to go right with this, obviously. And what this entails is when you get the toss, obviously we're tossing the ball to the tailback. He's got to get wide in this case. Now I have to read some blocks. My fullback should come out here, and he's either going to pick up the strong safety, or he should pick up this linebacker if he scrapes over the top. Same thing with my guard here. One is going to take one, the other will take the other, or should at least. And I always say should because obviously guys miss blocks. So let's go ahead and watch the play here, see what happens, and then we'll discuss. Alright, so we get the snap off right there. We're going to stop it really quick, and you're going to see my tackle gets beat. Alright, right there. So you can see my tackles here. That's Doug Free, and this is their defensive tackle here. He's in a 3 technique tackle, excuse me. So he's being played by the actual player, by my opponent here. And my opponent does a really good job of getting off the block. We'll go ahead and see it right there. You see that? He just sheds it really easily, and now he starts to get down the line. Now at this point, I'm kind of dead in the water a little bit, because you can see I've already started to cut up field here. Reason being, I'm looking at the strong safety. I'm not looking here at him. I expect my guys to be able to make that block. I don't expect a big defensive tackle to be able to catch me. Now, what's going on here, though, is we get that strong safety, does a good job of keeping outside leverage. And I have a big boy coming to hit him there. As you can see, it's Martin who decides to go out wide. And he does a great job. He actually makes a very good block. But because I saw outside leverage here, a lot of times, if you try to go wide on that, he'll basically just keep going wide with it, and Martin will not get the chance to make the block. So I'm trying to set it up, turn up field here. Really, I probably should have got right here on his butt, but even that's probably not going to do much for him, especially if since he forces it. So what hurts me here mainly is you can see my fullback here. For one, Doug for getting beat, obviously, but the other thing, you see my fullback here, he's not blocking a soul. There's nobody there for him to block. The linebacker came underneath as well. So really, my fullback in this case, if he knows the guard's going out, he sees him, he's trailing him, he should be turning up right here and then just sealing inside. If he does that, I have myself a nice play, because all he has to do is get just a little piece of this guy. If he gets even just a hint of him, I'm turned up here, I'm going for 6. Now he doesn't, he goes upfield and blocks nobody. So that really just kills me in this case. So as far as the play itself goes, we're going to go grade here. Grade for doing my job, doing what I'm supposed to do. I felt I went the right way with that, and I feel like I made the right run as far as where I was going. So I'm going to give myself the point for that. The point I lose, though, unfortunately, is obviously play success. That kills me. So I only get 1 yard out of this play. So I have to get on a run play at least 3 yards. So I get a 50% with this. So obviously not a very good way to start the ball game, but that's how it starts. So we'll see you guys in the next play.